Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video I want to give you a quick look here at my Nightmare team for Hydra, Rotation 4, Rotation 4, and some quick general tips. So you can see right there, we had the turn meter stolen from Uga, which is not what we want at all, so a bit of randomness at the start. I will have probably tomorrow, so Monday, by the time this video comes out, recording it a little early so it's ready for the weekend. But yeah, probably on Monday is when I'll be doing a video for hard difficulty and normal difficulty and all of that. So you can jump in and get some quick tips for how to do it with other champions. But this is what I found worked for me on Nightmare. And I'll show you obviously the builds on these champions and just some general tips. I definitely think the MVP of this rotation, one of the really most difficult things is this Head of Decay is now Force Affinity. And that's kind of a nightmare, to be honest. It's really, really awkward. I think one of the good bits of news is Biveled of the Thorn, who is Spirit Affinity. I think even on full auto now, he's going to be targeting the Head of Decay all the time. So that's great. Although he can obviously place stuff on weak hits anyway. But just the fact that auto, when you're doing an auto run, he will target it. That's pretty cool. But definitely there's problems in terms of champions like, like Seeker are going to be much worse because he can weak hit. He's still got a decent chance with Seeker, but it's worse. Husk, though, who I've got here, one of my damage dealers, Husk is like the MVP, right? He is so good. It's rotation. He is so strong. Red Affinity is 100% the way to go. So Husk as Red Affinity, he's neutral to the Head of Decay, so he can provoke on his A1. He's got a 40% chance, and that is really helpful, especially there he goes, in with the provoke, especially alongside Krisk. So you want to make sure that you're building your champions with enough accuracy. I've built mine with about, I think, 330 to 350 accuracy, I think. It's not quite enough. When the Head of Suffering is in there, you can get resisted, but it works most of the time. And then sort of playing it on manual, weaving between the A3 from Krisk and then the A1 from Husk, right? If Husk provokes, we don't need to do it with Krisk. That's a particular combo with Shamrock. You guys might have been thinking I was joking when I did the video on Shamrock last time, but here we are again. He's legit in my Nightmare team. But because Shamrock gives you increased speed for your team and increased defense for your team, Krisk's A3 ability gives himself increased defense and the rest of the teammates increased speed. So Shamrock actually sort of balances that out. It works just fine. And it means that you don't need to use A3 on Krisk. You can keep using his A1, which is good. He will heal a bit off the leech, which is useful. He'll get a bit more extra damage. Put out some more decreased speed, though to be honest, Shamrock can pretty much keep decreased speed up fully just by himself. It's not really a problem. But yeah, that's kind of a quick tip here. So you can see we're getting through this. It definitely gets a little bit scary at some point, so I will show you my gear. You know, if my gear was slightly worse, we would be definitely having quite a bit more of a difficult time to just stay alive. The other reason as well that I was mentioning there, a bit of a weakness for Shamrock, but luckily he's built very tanky. Red Affinity is so strong this rotation as well because the Head of Wrath is Blue Affinity. It makes Green Affinity champs significantly worse, right? Because they can be crit by Head of Wrath. And if you're crit by Head of Wrath, kaboom. Kaboom, you're in trouble. Like, big trouble. So, yeah, that's why Red Affinity is so strong. That chance to be weak hit by Head of Wrath is kind of a lifesaver. And yeah, the Spirit Affinity enemies aren't too bad. Now, Head of Torment can be kind of tricky, and it is actually very tricky for this team because, well, we have literally no way, really, to precisely deal with the fear. Ugo can cleanse a little bit, but that's all that we've got, which is kind of nasty, right? But the other heads aren't really that much of a problem, so yeah, that's basically the stuff to watch out for. As you can see, Head of Suffering is also Blue Affinity. So yeah, I think this is a Red Affinity rotation, especially if you're going to run a composition with Inquisitor Shamail in there, which is obviously an extremely... it's a good option, but you're going to be reliant on luck for the Head of Torment spawning in that case. It's actually your ideal head if you've got Shamail there. But with a Shamail in there... again, Red Affinity damage dealers are just even better because they're not going to do much damage to Torment, and you really do want to keep Torment alive. I'd say we're actually somewhat lucky here in a sense. We've got pretty decent heads. It's definitely scary. I think the scary thing for this particular team I'm running would be Head of Wrath plus Head of Torment plus Head of Decay, and then I guess probably Head of Blight. I think those four heads together would be pretty much a death sentence. That's where you would have to legit restart the run. Reason being that Head of Torment is really gonna, with the fears, is really gonna mess up your turns, and you're gonna, you're gonna miss your turns because of fear. Then the big issue would be that the Head of Decay, you would not be able to provoke him as successfully. He would get cleanses off, and then you put the Head of Blight or Head of Wrath especially. Those heads are just lethal when they get cleansed. Like if Head of Wrath gets increased attack on himself and he gets cleansed of decreased attack, like we could just die. The Head of Blight is a really big problem. We could get Poison Cloud out. So we're kind of lucky with how this lined up right here. We're 21 million in. But yeah, that's sort of some general sort of tips here for this rotation that are hopefully fairly helpful. And I can show you in game as well some of the other teams that that my clanmates have put together. But yeah, I think this is a funny one. I actually found, I don't know, I think it's one of the harder rotations. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people, it really depends on your champions. I've heard some people say it's the easiest rotation, and then I've heard a lot of people saying it's an extremely hard rotation. I tend to feel that for most players, this is going to be an extremely hard rotation. I think you're going to have a really tough time on the initial set of heads, locking, just getting provokes consistently enough. I think that's going to be really, really difficult. A good speed manipulator like Shamrock or Lady Kimmy is going to make a world of difference here. But it's going to be very hard. And then because it's going to be hard to lock down Head of Decay, he's just so scary when he's with Head of Wrath. That's going to be, I think, from what people have been saying, that's the big problem, is that Head of Wrath kills them. So I'm going to be trying with the Epic only video coming out soon to try to put some stuff together to try to compensate for that. But yeah, it's not pleasant, to say the least. One thing we do with Krisk as well is whenever we're coming up to, I actually did a couple of things because I was playing on manual here that you wouldn't do if you weren't on manual. So firstly, whenever we're controlling Krisk's A3 to use it when we need to provoke the Head of Decay, and whenever a head is decapitated, we're trying to hold on to it as well in case Decay does spawn in. Here we go. So he spawned in, and look at that. We have the A3 ready to go from Krisk, so we can lock him down straight away. One of the easiest ways to completely die very, very quickly is for Head of Decay to spawn in. You've got no provoke ready to go, and then he cleanses the heads and you just fall apart. It's very annoying. I really do think if I was to nerf the Hydra in future, I would probably put like a cooldown on Decay and Blight specifically. So the Poison Cloud and then the cleanse from Decay. I think if they spawned in with those abilities on like even a 2-turn cooldown or something, it would make a really big difference and really save some of that annoyance, because it can be very annoying. Another thing to watch out for, as always, be really, really careful. And this is another reason why Husk is good. Be really careful about killing the Head of Mischief. So right now, this is a pretty scary situation. We're coming up to some Devours. And there's always a really good chance, because Mischief is so fast, that Mischief is going to eat Krisk. Krisk is our Mischief tank. So things could get really nasty here. So I'm rushing to kill Mischief, because what can easily happen, Krisk's also our provoke. If Mischief eats him, then we can't lock down Decay. Decay can start cleansing, and stuff just gets really, really bad. And then if Mischief is the lowest health target and he puts the shield on, it's really bad. It's so hard to break the, the barrier of Decay, whatever Decay shield is called. It's so hard to break that when it is on Mischief. So whenever Decay is in there, if possible, I always try to leave him alive. Just leave Mischief alive. Try not to touch him. Try to kill the other heads first, because you can break the shield on like Blight. You can break the shield on Decay, no problem. And it's really good to delay those cleanses, to delay the Poison Clouds a bit longer. When Mischief gets it, it's just a nightmare. So we were in a pretty rough spot where we had to rush to kill Mischief before we got around to the Devour and the Consume and all that good fun stuff. So pretty nasty. But yeah, definitely be careful with your Geomancers. And again, here you can see with my support champions that I want them to hit their skills. We're trying to avoid hitting the Head of Torment. You can see we're struggling to land that in. There we go. He's locked down. And we're coming up to that 1 key threshold. Looking pretty good. 34 million. But yeah, I think you get the gist here. You can see it coming to an end, and I'll show you the final damage as well. I just thought it would be good to walk you through, because I don't often do that in these videos. There's a lot of VODs and stuff on the channel of different compositions for members of the channel if you want to become a member. I don't think I'll put this one up unless a member requests it. If a member requests it, then absolutely. And in fact, if you are a member, feel free to request stuff whenever you want. And I will try to accommodate that if possible. But yeah, that's basically it. There we go. We got the 1 key damage. You can see this halfway through the run. So the run, it kept going and going and going and we're absolutely slamming through. We ended up with 71 here we go, 71.54 million damage, which is actually, I think, my personal best. There was obviously some good luck went into that. I think with different heads spawning in at different times, it could be much lower, but it shouldn't be too bad to get to that 1 key damage. It's a very sustainable team if you have the right gear. You can see in terms of the damage, a very even spread, 20 to 22 million across the Husk, the Royal Guard, and the Geomancer. So they're all doing a great job. Husk is not only the top damage dealer, but he is also bringing those provokes, which is MVP. Then Geomancer, I'd give second place. He's extremely good because of that damage reduction that he's giving you, and the decreased accuracy really helps to mitigate hugely the poisons from Head of Blight. Really helps there. And then Royal Guard is the least important. He is obviously very good. He's going to help you to kill Mischief, which is useful when you need to kill Mischief. But his decreased speed, for example, we've already got Shamrock and Krisk, so that's not super essential. You can see these guys over here really not doing any damage or anything really. They're just in for all the support stuff, but it's like the sort of minimum support unit here alongside Geomancer to really get this done. So I'm really happy with this team. So I've been grinding out some mastery, sneak preview of some videos coming soon. Sneak preview. So some other teams that I'm still number 1. I don't expect that to last, to be honest. We'll probably be outpaced. We see Faces coming in. Similar-ish team. We've got a Skull-Lord Vargal instead of Krisk, Duchess instead of Shamrock. That's a good substitute. I did a whole video on Shamrock versus Duchess, but they're very interchangeable. He actually has Nekmothar in as well, and he did 70.09 million. So really solid team right there. We have, so these are 2 keys. So we won't look at the 2 keys. Let's look at the 1 keys for now. So 1 key here. Again, this is my team, except they've got the Duchess instead of Shamrock, which is the more standard team. You lose a lot of the speed control that Duchess, that Krisk, oh my god, words are hard, that Shamrock gives you, but you do come in and you gain the Perfect Veil to deal with Head of Torment. We have the same team here, again, 45 million. Here we've got actually a slightly different team. We've got Venus in this time to Hanorach. And these two, 40 million right there. Kind of interesting. I'd love to see, I don't know if he has, not Cupidus. What's his name? It is Cupidus, yeah. I'd love to see Cupidus in there alongside the Venus. That'd be pretty cool. Or then I do think Ugo is a bit better because she brings you the block buffs. To Hanorach as well, though does bring block buffs. So that's where you've got that. Then we have another 1 key right here, which is, again, very similar to the team that we saw from Face. But he had the Nekmothar for speed boost. And over here, we have, we've got Lady Kimmy for speed boost. So Nekmothar is going to be squishier. Bear that in mind because he has that green affinity. But Nekmothar is better at the speed boosting thing. And Geomancer is providing with this. We hear, hey, there he is. The man himself, Shamrock. He's back for another team. How did we do with this one? 7 million. Abort mission. Forget that. 70 million with Shamrock. Krisk obviously doing a massive job, but there you are. There are some team ideas right there. Actually, let me show you as well. I don't know 100% if this represents it, but if we come into Teams of the Week, I think this is for this rotation, so you can get some ideas. Actually, the top team was that Venus and Hanorach combo. You can get some more ideas. This is the same as my team, but Sifi instead of what's his face, and Sifi is the better option. Definitely, Sifi is significantly better here than Shamrock. Similar as well with Valkyrie, another Shamrock team with actually a Sethalia coming in and a Duchess. That's interesting. Sethalia, very cool. Got a Kyoku team right there. Very nice. We've got, again, the 2 Hanorach team. We've got the Kimmy. Lots of speed control being a pretty big feature. Fairly standard team. Instead of, we've got Lydia in, though. And we've got an Umbral. That's cool. And lots of regen sets. Again, here, a couple of teams with Mother Cybele too, which is really cool to see. Mother Cybele with Sifi, so the increased speed, the decreased speed, then Ugo and 2 damage dealers. And this one they've got a reset, actually. That's quite fun with the Royal Guard slams. This one they've got Valkyrie for the AoEs, like AoE from Mother, AoE from him. We've got the 50% chance to remove fear with Sifi. So there are some ideas for teams for Nightmare. Now, let me show you how these champions are built. So we've got Krisk. Krisk is built like this. He does have a blood shield accessory. That is really going to help. I could actually glyph that a little bit more, but that's all right. But he is up here, 500 resistance. I do need to glyph his accuracy higher. This accuracy is a little bit low. You want to be aiming for like 400 to deal with Head of Suffering when he comes in. But yeah, 245 speed. This is fairly much. He's a little bit squishy compared to other Nightmare Krisks, but he does the job. I've got like no faction guardians for Lizardman, and he has these masteries. Then we had Shamrock. Is he in the vault? No, he's not. He's right here. So he has the accuracy tree right here. He's actually in a guardian set to try to keep the team alive a little bit more. He himself is very tanky. So it's actually kind of a testament to him, even though Head of Wrath is in there. Now, he is protected by Krisk, of course, in this comp, but he wasn't really at risk of dying despite wearing that guardian set, which is cool. And you can see he has 56,000 HP, 2.3k defense. He's not super tanky. He's got good speed. This could be higher, and that would work actually really, really well. And he has high resistance to try to keep him alive. 296 accuracy is a little bit low. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Derp, I'm an idiot. We have the bonus 70 accuracy from Shamrock's aura. That's a massive deal to make your champions reliable. I totally forgot. It's one of the main draws of Shamrock. Seafeed likewise brings you a big resistance aura, so you can lower the resistance for your team and bring in more accuracy and all that. But yeah, that actually pushes him up to about 370 accuracy, which is fine. Love to glyph it a little bit higher. He does get a bit of bonus here from his mastery as well. But yeah, that's them. And then we have 4 epic champions, right? So we have Ugo first. So we got Ugo 1. Tugo is in there as well. She's still getting gear rolled up, but Ugo 1. One go and 2 go. So 1 go is built like this. So she's got good speed. Again, we could crank this a bit higher, but she's got lots and lots of HP and she's got the right accuracy. Actually a bit too high again for this comp. If I was building her specifically for this Shamrock composition, I would build her with like 330 accuracy and crank that resistance higher to protect her, because she does get quite beaten up because she's got very low resistance. She does get poisoned a lot and she takes a lot of damage from poisons because her HP is so high. And in Relentless, if you can get her good speed Relentless with stats like this, it really makes a difference because she cycles around to that cleanse and heal a lot more. If she's your main source of healing, that makes a big deal. It makes a big difference. And these are her masteries. Husk, he is built like this with those masteries. And the main thing with Husk is to have him fast, guys. 230 speed. His HP doesn't even need to be this high. Just get him in good speed, 100% crit rate. You can see he only has 211% crit damage. You don't need like 250, 270 crit damage or whatever. 200% is what I would aim for. And you saw he did the top damage on Nightmare, you know? It really does work. And then he has the 330 accuracy with the Shamrock aura. He's actually got 400 accuracy. So that's, yeah, he actually wasn't getting resisted. He's going to have 100%, well, he's got always the 3% chance to be resisted, but he's going to be very reliable with that provoke, which is what you want. Royal Guard is going to be built very similarly here. So it's not that one, it's this one. So again, high speed, he's 230 speed. He has a bit more crit damage. You can see he is squishier and that can be dangerous. But again, about 330 accuracy. Shamrock pushes it up to about 400. He has these masteries. Then the final champion, of course, is Geomancer. I've got 3. We use this one. These are his masteries. And yeah, he's in Reflex set to give him a chance to cool down his burn, which is very nice. It does add to a good chunk of extra damage. He's also very good in Relentless, but you can really put him in whatever you want. I'd say Relentless is maybe the best, followed by Reflex. They're both very, very good anyway. And he is a little bit squishy, perhaps, because my Reflex here isn't the best, but it does the job. Again, I'd love him to be faster. You know, the more speed you can stack on your champs for Nightmare, the better. And then he's got good resistance. This is nice because he lands decreased accuracy himself, so it helps him to be tanky and survive. And then he's got that 350 accuracy, which again is enough to be burning, even suffering, with the Shamrock aura. I can't believe I forgot about the Shamrock aura. Good thing we remembered, because it makes a massive difference. It's so good. Obviously, you know, you'll eventually get Mithrala, and she gives you that 80 accuracy, so she can enable that stuff too. Alongside the Hex buff, she's very strong. So there you are, guys. That was the team. Let me know what you think. If you got any tips that I can throw in as well to the lower end, the earlier game players, for when I put that video out again, probably on Monday. It's what I'm aiming for. We'll see if we get it out on time. We're going to be doing the earlier game video. So we're looking at hard and nightmare. You can see, actually, quick look here, quick preview. Here are some hard teams. This is probably not very helpful unless you've got, just bring in 2 Trundus and you'll get, you'll 1 key hard. Maybe not super helpful, but there it is. Look, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Let's bring it up here at the end. Boom, there we go. Refresher here. You can see exactly what's going on. Yep, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.